ready to learn with us on Bass University Live. Bass University Live starts now. Welcome to Bass U Live. Good morning, Riz. Fresh back from your fishing trip. I'm really upset with you because you got to fish and I didn't. But we're gonna dive into that a little bit. We got a double show today. Really excited. We were talking about it like the tale of two styles. We're going to have the Elite Series champ Fisher Anaya coming on, dominated down at Lake Martin. And it was just a spectacular thing to see. I know we had him on the show just recently, and so exciting to see him go out and win at the elite level. And we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about the dice, the Koik. If you guys haven't heard of that bait, you will. It's all over the place right now, especially. And I know we talked about it last week too, but it's the dice. It's going to be the year the dice bait it's already setting up that way. And we've got big bait Paul Bailey coming on from Clear Lake. We're going to be talking about how to master the smaller fisheries like Lake Martin and the giant fisheries like Clear Lake. And so that's going to be really cool. Excited to talk to both of these guys. Yeah. Riz, you got the cabin fever out this weekend, man. I'm jealous, I gotta say.
Yeah, it was good to get out, man. Made the run down to Lake Anna. It's about 3 hours from doorstep to boat ramp for me. So it's it's a nice little place to escape to. And here's the best part about it, Pete. It's a power plant lake. So
yes,
it's open even through the extreme cold, which we had on Friday morning when I was there. It was 22 degrees when I launched the boat, Pete. And boy, was I glad to have the whitewater gear that morning because it was brisk. But with that being said, cabin fever, we ain't sitting in the truck drinking hot coffee either. We're going. So
yeah,
it's important to have that good gear. And boy, whitewater fish, whitewater. It was the first time putting their stuff through the paces, and I was glad I had
it. That's great. You were slinging A rigs, and that's a lot of work. So that having gear that you can move around and do that with, that's a real asset.
Yeah, it was, man. We'll get into it a little more at the end of the show as far as what was going on at Anna, but that style of fishery, deep clear water, blueback herring lake, only largemouth, so it's a very similar dynamic to what Lake Murray has going on. It's growing them really big right now. I didn't get on any of the giants. I did have somebody in the boat with me that caught a giant, caught an 8-pounder on Friday. So we'll dive into that a little bit later on, but it's Lake Anna's a good place to go bass fishing right now.
Yep. Hey, Paul Bailey, if you're listening, an 8-pounder is big for us. That's a big deal. Probably not so much at Clear Lake, but guys, the Bass U app. Have you downloaded Bass University 2.0 on your Android or your Apple device? Are you watching it on Roku? If you haven't, go check it out. I know a lot of you guys have been with us for a while. You want to download the new app. It makes things so amazing to be able to get around and get what you want to get and get to the information that you need when you need it. You're going to love it. Everybody says they love it, and we love hearing that. So go get the Bass U app. Riz, let's bring them in, man. I'm so excited to have them with us again. It's so awesome. I'm going to say it here, Bassmaster Elite Series champ, Little Gills, here with us today.
I don't know where he came up with that nickname, and I don't know how he comes up with half of them, but he does.
Well, I think it's because you look so like you've been built for this. You know what I mean? Everything looks easy. Everything looks so smooth. You look like a fish in water. Maybe I think that maybe is where the nickname came from.
Probably so. He always tells me, he's like, man, you look at that scope like you got little gills. He says, you just stare at it differently. I said, the only reason I stare at it differently is my eyes are better than yours.
Man, I gotta say, it looked like that. When I got to bring this up, it was the coolest moment ever. I know you probably been interviewed and asked about it and talked about it, and we saw it live. Man, you shook a fish off in order to catch a bigger fish. We've seen guys do that on the bed. We've never seen anybody do it on scope. That was amazing.
They were kind of just starting to get paired up. The weather went from kind of chilly here in Alabama. It was actually really cold the week before. And then down there, it started warming up faster than it did up here because it's about 3 hours south from the house. And when our fish when it gets 55, 57-degree water temp, they get up there and start looking around like for beds and stuff like that. So that water temp crept up, and each day I could just see more and more coming up. And the last day of the tournament, they were actually pairing up a lot. They wasn't on beds, but they were swimming in pairs down the bank. And I seen the little one come up and eat it, and I knew if I caught her, I messed the big one up. So I just kept shaking until she let go of it and let the big one swim over and eat it.
Man, that was pretty cool. So they were bedding fish. It's funny because watching that show, I guess I didn't realize that. I thought you were just getting some cruisers.
That's
But
that's mostly what they were doing. It was kind of weird because it's like they wasn't on bed, but you would find a male and a female paired up just swimming.
yeah,
It was kind of odd.
interesting. Well, you dominated, man. It was, gosh, everybody's catching, 1 pound, pound and a half fish. You're catching 2.5s, threes, 3.5s. I mean, how did you separate yourself down there?
I spent a decent amount of time on that place, and it's just kind of always been my style of fishing. Like, I love that place, even though it's not got giants in it. I like a tournament that's got tight weights because you can easily make up ground, and even if you're in 50th place after day one, you still have a shot to win. So I run around and I chased largemouth the first 2 days mostly, and it didn't work. Because the first day I had 11 pounds, which was still above par, but I chased largemouth and it was a lot less than what I thought I was going to catch. Second day I did it again, and by the end of the second day I was like, I got to go find some spots to catch. So I run to a creek I've never been to in my life, pulled in there, and it was like clockwork every time I went in there in the whole tournament. Like the average fish in there was like a 2.25, 2.5 pound spot.
Well, that's crazy. Like, did you stumble onto this place you'd never been to? What made it unique? How did why were the bigger ones in there, do you think?
It's kind of hard to say. It was a pretty good sized creek. It had some steep banks and it had flatter banks. It had points. It had brush piles, stumps, rocks, docks. Everything a spotted bass needs to live on, and it was still in the water. It wasn't pulled out of the water because the water was down 7, 8 foot. And there was areas the fish could get up and roam and be shallow in sun, and there was also areas they could set up deep on like a 20 foot deep brush pile or a timber patch. So it kind of had everything they needed to live in there. And luckily, I stumbled across it, and they were pulling up every single day because of the warmer weather, so they were a little bit easier to catch.
Did you have anybody else in there helping you?
There was 2 guys in there. Rob G would run in there occasionally, and I seen Cody Meyer in there a good bit, but none of them fished anything that I wanted to fish.
What were they doing different? What were you doing differently than them?
To be honest with you, I'm not real sure. Like most of them they were getting on like steeper banks, like banks that had a big shelf where the docks had 7 to 10 foot of water on them. And I was catching most of my fish in less than 2 foot. Like some of them I caught this week were less than a foot. Like I could see them with my eyeballs swimming around up there. So I honestly think a lot of guys were just overlooking them because it was like still too early for them to be that shallow. So let's just check out a little bit and see if they're staged up. But they was already pulled up there just swimming around.
So you were and I noticed Joey Fuentes, he was fishing up in that real shallow zone, and he was leading the tournament for a while. So I guess you guys were doing pretty similar stuff.
Probably so. It's just chasing them spots around. I have no idea why they was up there, but they was.
They were big too.
They were big.
with your eyes or with your scope?
Each day was different. The sunny days, I did sight fish quite a few. I think the
Okay.
second day when I had almost 13, I sight fished 4 of those fish. And then the third day, I sight fished 2 of mine. And the last day, I couldn't sight fish with how cloudy and rainy it was. I did see some up there swimming around, but they just wasn't the right size, so I didn't waste my time trying to catch them.
Gotcha. So, if depth zone, were you in like 2 to 5, or like where did you spend most of your
Uh, lot
fishing?
anywhere from a half an inch deep to 10 foot. Really, it was
Okay.
kind of a wide zone because each day or each time you pulled up, they'd be set up different. One time you pull up, they were super shallow. Next time they were staging on a brush pile in 6 foot of water, and then they were on a rock pile in 10 foot.
Right, right. But 10 foot or less, generally speaking.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha, gotcha. That so that I mean that running forward facing sonar in that zone is, it's relatively shallow when you think about, live scope. It's definitely not offshore in the middle of the lake chasing roaming fish. Like there's some differences to it. There's some nuances to it. Do you have to change things on your settings when you're up that shallow? Do you like to make any changes like that? Or what are you doing differently when you're in that shallower depth zone than maybe other guys are?
I don't really change my settings much. I do go to like a dull color like amber when I'm up shallow, make sure it's not reading so hot so I can see a little bit better. And really, you're not looking for fish when you're that shallow on scope. You're more or less looking for, I mean, you could be going and it just flickers on the bottom for just a second. You're like, it look a little different. You throw over there. You almost got to throw on everything that kind of or should be a fish, looks like a fish. If it's a stump, it didn't matter. Like anything where a fish could be sitting, you had to throw, or if it looked like a fish, throw at it. So it
Mhm.
takes a lot of time, but when they are that shallow and you do find them, you can catch them fairly easy.
I remember you saying that when we were talking about Hartwell, is the importance of not, you don't, they don't have to stand out clear as day to be worth a cast. Like there's
Right.
a lot of times where where it may not be a fish, but it's still a piece of cover, so it's worth throwing at.
Yep.
Gotcha.
The thing that you were throwing at them, we've been talking about, kind of, I was down there at Lake Martin, for the Insane tournament, and we kind of got introduced to that bait, and yeah, the dice it's like the year of the dice style bait, but that, man, that was working.
It works. I don't know why it works. I really have no idea. I guess it mimics a bug. I don't know. I've been throwing it for the past year or so now, and it's something that it does work. Some days it does, some days it doesn't. It's not one of those baits that it works everywhere in the country. It's either they're gonna bite it or they're not gonna bite it. There's no really in between on that bait for some reason.
Well, they were biting it pretty good. Now there's 3 sizes. There's different color options and weights, and I noticed this with like Joey. I was watching him. He was talking about like super lightweight was key for him, and that caused him trouble when he saw fish down in that 20-foot zone, because it like it was impossible to hit him with the drift and the delay. But how about you? Take me through, what were the sizes and weights that you were using?
I threw a 13 millimeter all week and with like a 332nd
Yeah.
ounce nail weight. I was throwing it up super shallow, so I honestly didn't need it to sink any. Like it could have floated and made a bit, but definitely if you move out deeper, you have to upgrade your weights and different sizes of the bait. You got to put more weight in it to make it sink. But I was throwing the smallest one, 32nd ounce nail weight, trying to just catch them when they were super shallow. If they were out deeper than 10 foot, I hardly wasted my time to even throw on them because there was no way I was going to get to them. I did throw on a couple each day out there deeper that looked bigger with a freeloader, and I did catch 2 or 3 of my keepers the first 2 days on a freeloader. And then as the tournament went on, they just kept coming shallow.
Kept coming shallow. What's the hook you're using on that bait?
It's a VMC Redline treble. I think it's a size 5.
A
Oh,
treble.
you went treble. Okay. That's that's a great hook, right? And we've seen that great hookup percentage, but man, you can't get it through the cover too good.
No, it's not good on getting through cover, but most of the time, if they see that bait, they're going to swim to it. You don't got to sink it to them. So I just kept it above all the cover. And when I did see one that didn't want to come up, if she was on slick bottom, I would let it go down to the bottom.
Okay.
Why
All right. How about colors?
Any sort of natural color works. Like I could throw basically any color I wanted to down there and catch them on it, but it just had to be kind of a dull or natural color, like a brown, a green pumpkin, a white, like a clear see-through. I think they call it like salmon pepper or something like that. Any sort of color like that work.
Well, what is it with these big bass, like these big spots getting shallow? You did it at Hartwell. You were talking about these fish with their backs coming out of the water there. And when you won that tournament and you're doing it again, like it seems, is this the pattern, right? You want to catch those big spots. You almost got to walk away from those schoolies out deep.
Yeah, there's definitely like each lake's a little different. Smith Lake is one lake. The big spots still live deep. They don't live super shallow.
Okay. Right.
Martin, for whatever reason, I think it's the lakes with more clay in them. Smith's got more rock or bluff style banks. So the more clay you get on a lake, shallower the spots live, from what I've noticed. And I think a lot of people don't understand blueback don't always live in 100 foot of water.
They bluebacks like to be shallow, right? They like to be up in that water column.
So that's kind of what I've gathered. I think blueback just get up there and live on the clay up super shallow. You can see them when you do get up there and it's sunny. You can see them swimming down the bank, and then spots just kind of follow them around, like basically like a coon running from a bloodhound. Is basically what they're doing. They're just creeping them down the bank and just following them around.
Yeah, no kidding. I stayed on Lake Martin in the fall, and I could see that at that time they were hunting bluegills. I think it was November, and the bluegills were all up on the bank, and you could see, man, I'm telling you, fish aren't supposed to be that smart, right? But they looked like they were working as a team, like dolphins might, like
I can't hear nobody.
Have you lost the audio on me? I know we got Rich dropped out there for a second.
Are we back?
I can hear you. Fisher, you good on audio? No, we lost Fisher. Or Fisher has lost us. You got me okay, Rich?
Yeah, I got you okay. I'm going to have Fisher jump out and come back in.
Okay.
It's probably my fault because I'm trying to bring my audio up.
Sorry about that. I noticed you're usually booming and dominating in the audio world, and you're quiet compared to Fisher, which is unusual.
How about it now, Fish? How about now? Nothing?
I can't hear y'all.
Pete, talk about something.
Well, it was very interesting, and I'm going to bring this up again with when we get Fisher's audio squared away. But what I observed was the spotted bass almost working like bottlenose dolphin do, where they're teaming up, they're attacking a dock from the left and the right hand side, and almost like herding them and driving them towards the fish that we're trying to feed. And it's not a big study. It's just something that I observed, and I sat and I watched them for a long time, and I watched those bigger spotted bass feeding up in that ultra shallow water, and that was unique because in our college tournament, the Insane tournament, to catch those bigger fish. Once again, it had to be done up shallow. But I guess you can hear me now, Fisher. But I promise you, those big spots looked like bottlenose dolphins. They looked like that they would attack a dock. Like a group would come in from the left, and there'd be on the right hand side of the dock, there would be a set of them that would just sit the pilings or sit the floats. And those ones from the left would come in and push the bluegills right into the faces of those other ones that were sitting the posts. I'm like, am I really seeing this?
Spots will do crazy things.
They're aggressive, man, and it seemed like they were smart. But once again, the big ones, like we saw the insane tournament, all the little fish were all out deep on the schools, and guys were drop shotting them and doing a variety of minnows techniques. But the bigger bass, that tournament was one up on the bank, and your tournament was one up on the bank. So different time of year, but it seems to be that's where the bigger guys are. And you're
I think so. I think it's 95% of the time one on the bank at Martin. I think all the stripe that's in that place kind of forces them bigger fish to live shallow. But I'm not too sure. I don't go there too much, but that's kind of what I've gathered on the times I've been there.
Well, that's you're becoming an expert there. It's your first major win, and it's on a place that and you're from Alabama. Everybody in Alabama was pulling for you. That had to be a pretty special moment when you came across that stage.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. There was people screaming, and I'm like, I don't even know who half these people are, but keep screaming. Get louder.
Hey, if you knew 50% of them, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I knew my corner over there. My mom, dad, girlfriend. I had my old fishing partner in high school came. They were all screaming, and I signed about 500 autographs. So it was cool. It was fun.
Nice.
That's cool. Were those your first autographs?
I signed some autographs for FXR. I had to work the booth at the Gunnersville event. I signed a bunch of autographs there, and then a bunch of them at Lake Martin. So first time I've signed more than one autograph in a day.
Hey, get used to it. Get used to it. I think you're on your way here. I know your first tournament was your day one went really good. Day two not so good. So but you still scored plenty of points. And you're after this win, you got to be sitting good in rookie of the year and classic qualifying, right?
Yeah, it was the first tournament just kind of didn't go my way. I tried to force an issue that wasn't happening. Usually that time of year I can catch them less than 2 foot of water on a trap and catch all I want to catch. But I think with the super cold weather, half the pockets were froze over, so it kind of made it impossible. So I tried to force it something that wasn't there, and I just kept doing it and never really adapted.
Man, well, I mean, to me, outsider looking in, I got to give you props for that because a new rookie angler might lay up and be conservative and try to maybe not go for it right out of the gate because it's your first elite tournament, but it was a bold move, man. You went for it.
I was trying to swing for it. I knew I was going to need a big bag to have a shot to win because I knew they was going to catch them, and I figured some guys would catch them 2D and shaking them in, and a couple of them did. So I was just like, I'm just going to go reel my trap around, have some fun. And I thought after the first day, my first 2 casts for 2 fish, and one was a 5.5 pounder. I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like I'm going to catch them. And then I got 40 bites a day, 50 bites a day on a trap, and every one of them was slapping at it, not getting it. Like I would catch 10% of them, like never even get the bait. And I'm like, this ain't good.
Yeah, well, you recovered nicely. Come on. I mean, that's yeah, you came down to Lake Martin and you dominated and it was pretty cool. And I got to thank you. I got to thank you big time because I picked you at Lake Martin and you came through, man. You gave me the biggest score I ever got in fantasy fishing since I've been doing this with the group, man. Thank you very much.
I'll try to keep doing you good. Just keep picking me. Maybe I'll just keep riding the high train, roll it on to the rest of the season.
I'll do it. I'll do it, man. It seemed like all of our picks did really well. So a lot of that came from interviewing you and listening to you speak on our interview and after you had won the team championship. Gave me a lot of confidence in this style of fishery. So I felt like it was an awesome pick. It turned you proved me right. But but a lot of the guys are Bass University guys, like Emil Wagner, who had a brilliant Lake Martin tournament as well. Are all Bass University instructors. So I see Fisher as a next generation Bass U instructor. Is we might have to get this worked out.
Working on it. We're working on it, PG.
I like it. How are you in front of the crowd, Fisher? Do you like being in front of the crowd?
It doesn't bother me too much. Like back in the day, I would get a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but now I've kind of got used to it. I mean, if I know what I got to go up there and talk about, and it's about fishing, I can talk about it. I mean, if it's something about schoolwork, math, anything like that, yeah, I'm done. But if it's fishing, I can talk about it.
That's really cool stuff, man. And that's we'll be talking to you about that in the near future. But we talked about this a little bit last time. I wanted to ask you some more because G really did a nice job when he was commentating on the last day and talking to us about you. And what was that like? What were some of the key takeaways about spending some time with Gerald, who was one of the to me one of the most mentally tough competitors in the sport? To be able to have that kind of influence and growing up under his tutelage a little bit, what was that like?
It was cool. Like I mean, he gives a lot of bad advice, but he gives some good ones. He gives some good. So, nah, he definitely makes you. First thing he made me do was just not spin out. Learn to just keep it cool, like stay calm, just do
Yeah.
your thing. And when it happens, it happens. So I think that's what's going to take me the farthest is just trying to be laid back as I can. There's no reason to get mad or flustered at anything. Just kind of just go fishing. And that's something he's always taught me. And he's always taught me catch a limit. Find a way to catch a limit. Don't swing for it too hard. Just be consistent. Consistency is better than up and down. So I'm always trying to just be as consistent as I can be.
How has he helped you with your forward-facing sonar techniques, or is it the other way around?
It's the other way around. I try to help him the most I can, but he'll get like 2 or 3 casts, and he's like, "All right, I'm done. You go back and run it."
Oh, that's funny. Well, he's been a great a veteran of the sport, and but your dad's quite an angler too, man. He got you out on the water, when you were very, very young. And I imagine a lot of those early lessons and lessons even still are coming from your father, Ryan.
Oh yeah, he'd lie to you and tell everybody he ain't no good, but he's pretty dang good. There's been times I go out there and I'm scoping, and he's still out catching me in the back dragging a Carolina rig. So he's really good, and I mean we still go fish all the time. We fish the ABT 100s together. Each day, I mean, you go out there, you learn something new. I teach him stuff, he teaches me stuff. So it's still, you never know everything about fishing because they got a brain. They always changing. So each day you get to learn something new, and you can pick up off other people and what they're doing different to get more bites.
Well, one of the moments that stood out to me when Jared was talking, because it seems to be consistent amongst really a lot of the guys that are lighting it up, is how often you guys fish. Like you fish a lot more than a lot of us are able to. We try, get out there on the weekends. We get out there as much as we can, even top level pros, but you're taking it to the next level.
I try to fish all I can. I'm actually, as soon as I get off here, I'm driving to Georgia, do a seminar, leaving straight from Georgia, driving to Sam Rayburn to fish the Bass Open.
That's awesome. It's every day. He was talking about Kyle Welcher does it too, like 45 days in a row. He mentioned one of the other guys. I can't remember who it was, but it's I think it might have even been Brandon Cobb that are fit in order to compete out on the elites right now. Man, you can't lay up, man. You got to be at it every day.
Yeah, you got to consistently be on the water trying to learn something new, figure out a different way to catch them every single time. And like them guys, there's a handful of them that they don't take no breaks. They're going pre-practice and they're doing all their homework. Like people like that's hard to beat. After a while, they study a lake for 2, 3, 4 months at a time and pre-fish it for a month. Like they begin to get hard to beat because they figure out a pattern on the fish and figure out the best areas of like most qualities. So the more time you spend on the water, the better you're going to be.
Well, you got another nickname here. Goob's got you coin scoping baby Jesus. They What's up, Goob? Goob was trying to draw you down to Key West, I think, to celebrate your win.
I don't doubt it. And if me and Goog went to Key West, it probably wouldn't be too good.
Well, it was I know it was quite a celebration for all your boys back at home. I think they're all still celebrating and excited for you. That's very cool. Just wanted to give a shout out to Goob and all the boys on the chat board. So you're going to the Open. You're doing the Elites and the Opens this year?
No, I'm just gonna fish the one Open just because I want to go to Texas. I'm tired of catching 3-pounders, so I'm gonna go try to catch some 10-pounders. So I'm gonna fish the Open. Maybe I make the third day, fish 3 days, and then I'm gonna stay for a couple days after with a buddy of mine and go fishing small lakes in Texas and try to bust 40 pounds. I've never had 40 pounds in 5 bass, so that's the plan.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk to you about something else that, the controversial part of what's going on with you, man. Speaking of the bigger fish, you were fishing in some bigger fish areas, but in Florida, what's up with that dual threat, man? I mean, you had the W, the money's gone. Is it gone? Is there any hope? What the heck is going on with that thing?
I don't know. I try to just stay out of it and not get my head shoved in somewhere it don't need to be shoved into. So I, it's probably gone, but maybe not. Maybe the guy come forward and do the right thing like people should. But most people know a lot of people don't do that. So it's kind of a toss up. It's going to be a long shot if I get my money or my GoPro card back with all my footage on it. So who knows? I hope I get it back. If I do, I'm probably not fishing another one, but I just want my money and my card.
Why the card? What does the card have that you want?
Oh, I mean, it's got 25 pounds worth of fish on it, a lot of GoPro footage.
Yeah.
I need that to post on my YouTube, or it's kind of going to be blank with a day 3 with nothing there. So I'd like to have it. That's, I guess, money I can make off YouTube for posting YouTube videos. So I'd like to have my card back.
Not to mention, there's some random guy now with potentially the ultimate juice on St. John's. Who knows what he could do with that? You know, there's
He
there's
could
a little bit of
sell it on fish
hype that
tips.
goes on. So boy, I hope there's somehow some resolution in this situation.
Me too.
It's a bad deal. Somebody needs to figure out how to do the team series and do it right for big money and do it not the way it went.
Yeah, it was not good. Like tournaments, we'd show up. I mean, it felt like a wildcat tournament. He didn't know where the meetings were. He didn't know what should be off limits. I mean, he didn't know none of that. Like, I feel like if you're gonna host a tournament, you should already have the off limits posted before we ever get down there, where the meeting is, how it's gonna go. Like, all that should be set up, and it wasn't. And it's just kind of odd because he always had an excuse to something. Then someone would say something like there was somebody getting DQ'd or there was something happened here. So I don't like how he kept pushing it back. I wish he would have just said, "All right, here, everybody take it. We'll fill out the W-9s. If I figure out who cheated and went into the locks that wasn't supposed to go into the locks at Okeechobee, then we'll DQ them and we'll figure it out. But pay the money out. Like you're leaving other like 20 guys that didn't cheat that still ain't got money in it."
Do you think
So
he he was given the red flags that he had planned on taking the money the whole time, or do you think that the funding didn't come through or something happened on the back end?
I don't know. I think it's kind of gonna. It's just so hard to say. Like he was a really good actor. If he did try to like intentionally scam all of us, because everybody there was like, I mean, he seems like a good dude. He's just kind of in over his head. So the money could have been there and then got taken back, and now he's freaking out and trying to get away from it. I don't really know, but maybe here soon all the I don't know, the truth will come out.
Well, we'll see. I hope you get your money. I hope you get your chip. keep that winning streak going. Because I don't care money or chip, it don't matter to me. I mean, you won that tournament.
Yeah.
You won at Hartwell. Now you won at Lake Martin. Man, that's 3 monster wins. My God, Rich. Now that I'm adding that up in my mind, that's 3 really big wins in a short period of time. You got a lot of momentum behind you right now.
Trying to keep it rolling. I got the biggest tournament of my life coming up in a couple months or a month, so I gotta keep that momentum rolling and just try to breeze through that one and see if I can't make a run at it. If not, I'm just gonna be happy to be there.
Are you going to
breeze on through it?
Yeah. Just ride the wave, brother. Are you going to be targeting smallmouth or largemouth at the Classic?
I don't know yet. I really ain't even looked into it. To be completely honest with you, I'm just gonna go show up and whatever bites. That's what I'm gonna catch.
I think you need to go down the bank and look for spotted bass. I don't even know if they live there, but I think you could find them if they did.
If there's a spotted bass in there, I'm gonna find him and I'm gonna catch him.
That's exciting. This is have you ever been to a Classic?
I've just went to one as a spectator and watched before. Like one, I think I went to last year's in Texas, but other than that, no, that's the only one I've ever been to.
The Cole wants to know, what are you sipping on? What's in that? We got sweet tea for breakfast. What do we got in there?
We got some y'all's sweet tea.
There you go. There you go. That's breakfast of champions. Is that your boat food? Is that you carrying that in the boat?
I'll make me a jug of it occasionally and take it out there and just sip on it, lay it in the cooler full of ice. You know, ice cold tea's kind of refreshing and on the hot days. So,
what's your go-to boat snack?
oh man, I don't really eat on the boat. To be completely honest with you, like I might eat like a little Slim Jim or something one like about lunchtime. That's about all I do. That's about all I eat.
Yeah, I get that. It slows you down. Can't be eating out there.
Nah, you got to keep looking. I'm casting 24/7. I ain't got time to eat.
You ain't got time to eat. You ain't got time. You take your eyes off the screen, and you could miss the biggest fish of the day.
Exactly.
Yep. So G's eyes are they're too old to be able to see those fish. Is that what's going on?
There's a chance. I mean, they as bow legged as his knees. Them things, ain't no way he ever sees that scope screen.
Well, he did. He got those straightened out a little bit. He looked pretty good last time I saw him.
He gotten taller. I can promise you that. He ain't
No
6 foot
kidding.
now. He's probably 6'4".
That's a hidden bonus. I didn't realize. You straighten those legs out and you get taller.
I guess so. I'm gonna have to try to get mine straightened out. Maybe I'll get a little taller.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I think you need to stay right where you're at. You need to stay close to that screen. That's the deal. Well, we got the Classic coming up. We got an Open. You're going to Texas, and and then we got the rest of the Elite Series trail. What's hot? What are you thinking? Any Lakeshore idea? Now it's got to be awesome, right? You're an Alabama guy, and the first 2 tournaments are in Alabama. That's the best possible start for Elite Series rookie. You're going out of state now. You're going to some different places. What are you liking?
I think the Classic's going to be a lot of fun, and then the other one I'm looking forward to is Lake Murray.
Lake Murray,
Yeah. I feel like that's going to be up my wheelhouse. It just there's not much. I don't think there's spotted bass in that place, but I know there's some big old largemouth, so that's what we're going to chase.
Well, the college guys were just there. Shout out to Lander University for winning another national championship. They had an MLF championship there last week. I think Montevallo got second place, and those guys continue to dominate. But like you said, 25-pound bags coming in at Lake Murray. That's going to be pretty awesome.
It's going to be stout. I think our tournament will be really good. I think we go in May, so they're probably going to be like a shad spawn, maybe some late spawners, a lot of post spawn style things. So it ought to be a fun tournament. You ought to see some guys sight fish some. You ought to see some guys catch some herring style fish on some shallow points. Like, I think it ought to be pretty fun. It ought to set up kind of like here, just with largemouth instead of spotted bass.
Yeah. Will will maybe pass the blueback spawn, or is that still going to be happening?
It's really just going to depend on the weather, I guess. It's probably going to be a little bit late and after it, so they could be full and not eating no more. Who knows? But maybe it'll stay cold enough to where we hit it just perfect, and they can still be up there doing it.
Yeah, that's the Murray is awesome. What about the northern lakes? Do you have any experience up north fishing smallmouth? Any of that stuff?
I went to Champlain for an EQ last year. I think I finished like 17th or 19th in that one. I had like 22 and 19. It's fun lake. And then St. Lawrence, I've been there one time and I caught 15 pounds one day and zeroed the next day. So I'm gonna have to get my act together if I want to do good at St. Lawrence. It's kind of got my number, which I wasn't allowed to go to the lake in that tournament. So I do think being able to go to the lake's gonna make it a little easier on me. Um, but yeah, I think they're gonna be fun. I don't really care to catch northern smallmouth. They kind of confuse me a little bit, but we'll go see what we can't do.
I think you'll be fine. They're so similar to spotted bass. I think I'm surprised to hear you say that they confuse you. They have so many similarities.
They're very similar. It just don't make sense to me like how the lakes lay out and the stuff they set up on. Like they just set up on a 70-foot deep hump out in the middle like that. That doesn't register in my mind. Like I don't fish 70 foot deep. The deepest I ever fish is like 5 foot.
Yeah, that's definitely unique. I imagine the gobies are what's bringing them down there.
Probably so.
Yeah, they're going where the food is. Are you able to? Are you able to? How does it work now? The off limits keep changing on me. Like, are you allowed to go look at those waterways before you have your tournaments there?
Yeah, we have a 28-day off limits before each
Okay.
tournament that we can go pre-practice and look at the lake, et cetera. So I think our next one's on the Tom Bigby, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours down the road. So that's going to be another close one. Going to be a grinder. I mean, it's going to be a shallow water, buzz bait, swim jig style tournament. So it ought to be fun.
Yeah, that's up your alley too. So we'll look for. So I guess I'll be picking you there.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know how practice goes.
All right. All right. That sounds good. But man, congratulations. I don't know. I won a Lake Martin tournament back in the 1700s, Bassmaster. So you and I have that in common now. So we got big dubs on Lake Martin. But way back when, way back before there was even blueback herring, believe it or not. That's how long ago that was. But it was the same. It was the same. Small spotted bass, like a 2.5 pounder, was a monster bass, and largemouth helped me get over the hump every day.
That's one thing I could not find. I looked for them. I looked for them like fire. I actually caught them in practice, skipping a swim jig around super shallow docks, and it's like they all kind of vanished. I don't know if people caught them and they kind of just the population of largemouth just wasn't great in that place anymore or something like that. But I had to leave them. Like I tried to swim a jig the first 2 days for 2 hours out of my day and never got a bite hardly. So it was kind of a waste of time, let down. I really thought I could get a 4 pounder a day swimming a jig. It just didn't have it.
Well, but Brock Mosley figured a little something out, right? He just didn't even think about giving up on it. It looked like actually I did see him doing a little shake in a minnow or something, but it was impressive that he stayed on that bank the whole tournament for second place. He was your biggest threat going after largemouth, like focusing on it. So all stained brown, muddy water.
Yeah, it's kind of what you got to chase out there. I think to catch him largemouth, I think he was upriver if I'm not mistaken. So
Okay.
he had a heck of a tournament. I mean, that's one dude. When I pulled up to the ramp and it was raining and cloudy, I said, "This ain't good. Like, he gonna catch it. Like he gonna smash him if they're biting it. Whatever he was throwing, they gonna bite it up there real shallow. Them largemouth gonna chew."
Well, they did a little bit. I think it was a spinner bait early and a chatterbait later, but although he caught big ones, it was not enough. It was not enough to hold off you and the big win. So congrats again. Thanks for coming through for me on fantasy. Appreciate you.
Yes,
And
sir.
we'll look forward to rooting you on the next one. And good luck in Texas.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm about to go get on the road and drive up here and do a seminar real quick, teach some people how to shake a minnow.
Well, you're the guy for that job, brother. So Have fun doing it. Good luck signing a few autographs.
Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Fisher and I, everybody. Lake Martin Elite Series champion. Never goes away. That never gets old. Rich.
No, that's a great accolade, Pete. It'll carry that with him forever, and I'm sure it's not going to be his last one either.
No, I don't think so. He's too calm and cool, collected, and he's fishing all the time. I think it's going to get nothing but more intense with this young man. So that's pretty awesome. We're going to switch gears, guys. We're going to, from catching 3.5 pound spotted bass, which wins tournaments, to catching giant largemouth, Riz.
Mm-hmm.
On
big spotted bass out in California too.
Well, that's true. They've got record-setting spotted bass out there. But we got Paul Bailey coming on next. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to switch gears and be talking about big bass.
Sweet.
We're off the clock to clock more fish, to fill our live wells and empty our coolers, because there's more to explore. The latest Humminbird fish finders work fast, see clearly, and know all the best spots. They fish even smarter paired with the Minn Kota and break down the water like never before. If you like your plans loose and lines tight, then it's time to explore. Only with Humminbird. Get right to the fight. New Mega Live 2 forward-facing sonar puts you on more fish with an ultra-clear, rock-solid picture of underwater action. Next-gen clarity, next-level fun. Only with Humminbird.
The original Element rods were really Cashin's first launch, kind of in a price point level. With that, we got a lot of feedback.
And that's what brought about the Element Z2 and its launch. The most affordable American-made rod on the market.
When the sun's up and the bite's on, clarity is everything. That's why serious anglers trust Redfin. Built for the water, designed for performance. Lightweight frames, crystal clear optics, and rugged durability that stands up to long days on the water. Thanks to Zeiss Repel technology, water, oil, and even sunscreen just slides right off the lenses. Your vision stays crystal clear. See more, fish smarter, and protect your eyes with Redfin. Redfin polarized sunglasses. Comfort, clarity, contrast.
Mother Nature may be tough. I'm tougher. I'll take you where chaos is the cost of entry and where the fish are worth the fight. Because the bigger the question marks, the better the quest.
At Whitewater Fishing Gear, we build gear for the days that test your commitment. The ones launching before daylight, staying out when the wind picks up, and fishing through conditions most guys avoid. Engineered for protection, mobility, and all-day comfort. Built to perform when conditions turn rough. So you stay focused on the pursuit no matter how the elements shift. Whitewater Fishing Gear, built to brave the waves.
Welcome back, everybody. Great to have everybody with us. Great to see Wild Bill on the chat this morning. What's up, Bill? Great to see you here. And so many guys. Goob was with us. Bass Tech Sonar, Man's Outdoor Adventures, and so many other guys. Bring your questions and comments. We're excited about this next guest. He's a regular on the show, and every time we talk to him, we want to make a trip out west. And
Hey, wow, Pete, we said we were going to do that last year, right around the same time, and I still haven't been to California. So,
Well, I haven't been to Clear Lake, California, and every time I talk to this man, I want to go, and I got to go. Everybody needs to put it. It's on everybody's bucket list. It should be, so let's bring him in. Paul Bailey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys doing this morning?
Man, we're doing good. We're excited. Talking with a young man, just won the elite, catching spotted bass, catching 3-pounders. There are giants in that lake. Not so much at the lake you fish a lot.
Yeah, no, man, but you're gonna make $100,000. It don't matter how big they are.
Yeah.
He's making $100,000 with 3-pounders, 10-pounders. It don't matter. That kid is absolutely on fire right now. I'm just stoked I had him on my fantasy team.
You picked him too, Paul?
I had him too.
No kidding. You picked the winner. I had a score of 1,400, and I had over 1,400 points in that fantasy pick. Man. I had 4 of the top 10 picked, all spotted bass gurus. I picked Cody, a West Coaster, who's also a spotted bass guru.
Yeah, I picked him on my Drain the Lake, I believe. My team kind of sucked. I think I finished with like 1,200 points or something. It was a good week, but not. You know how it is. Like, you got to win. You got to be right close to the top there to even have a chance at these things. And that fantasy fishing, man, it's a blast.
Yeah, not everybody can be as good as the
as
dean.
good as you are.
Oh,
that's it. Not everybody can be the dean.
Yeah, I believe, honestly, I think I scored 700 points on the first tournament of the season. So I'm more than doubled it in this one. I was happy to do it. It was fun. It was fun. That's cool. But you're playing fantasy fishing, but to me, every day is fantasy fishing with you. Clear Lake is the land of the giants, man. And how's it doing out there? We haven't talked to you for a little while, for a minute. Are we still smashing them? Is it a good time right now? What's going on?
Oh man, it's always a good time here. It has been really, really good this winter. The bite hasn't been as good as it typically is during the winter time. We're usually catching a lot more numbers. This year, the numbers went down, but the size stayed the same. So I believe the last tournament, it took 34 on Saturday to win, 34.90. And then the weekend before that, it took 40, I want to say 45-40 to win that one-day tournament. So, I mean, we're still pumping 30 to 45-pound bags, and it's, we're not even to pre-spawn yet. We are still dead of winter. Snowstorm is on us right now, and it's just going to get better until we get to April, I think.
What's going on out there? What kind of snowstorm are you dealing with?
We got this big, northern front coming down. It's going to dip down from Alaska and get us from the north. And so our temps dropped probably 15 degrees last night. And I was expecting to wake up to a foot of snow, but there was no snow on the ground. It missed me by about 100 feet. I can look around the hills and it's just above me. So we're right on that line here at Clear Lake, where maybe once or twice a year we'll get snow that actually sticks on lake level. We thought this might be the one time for this year that it happened. It just missed us. We've got another one coming Wednesday, Thursday, but it really doesn't do much to these fish. We got a lot of northern strain in these fish. So when we get these low pressures and these cold fronts that come down to Clear Lake, even our spotted bass lakes here in Northern California and up in Oregon and Washington, if these low pressures come in, these northern fish, they absolutely love a low pressure system. And they don't care if it's 22 degrees or 62 degrees. If it's low pressure on them, they are in chew mode. It's just, can we get out there and get to them? There's a limit that I have, a threshold that I have. That's, it's too cold, too windy. Yeah, you're going to catch big ones, but man, we do it all the time. So I've got a limit, and today was just a little bit above my limit of when we're going to go fishing. But
where is the threshold at, Paul?
The threshold's right at 33 for me. If I can't feel my hands for 4 hours, I'm going home.
Okay. That's the water temp right now.
We probably got 50-degree water temps right now.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah, when the snowstorm passes, it'll dip it down to 45, 46 for a day or two, and we'll be right back to that 49 to 52 again. And that's the northern bass's sweet spot for us here. That 50 to 55 is.
Oh yeah.
They're eating something somewhere usually.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it's interesting, and in Texas, the share lunker program, the 13 pounders come in when the weather's nastiest, when it's the coldest. Is that what you see for the biggest fish in the lake, or you're not there because it's below 33 degrees?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely what we see, especially in the tournaments, the big tournaments that come in here. If we get a day or two and we've got a low pressure, it's cold, it's rainy, the fish are fired up. Those will usually be the biggest weights of the tournament is on those days. And same with here. Like this last weekend, it was fairly sunny, so 34, 35 pounds won. The week before that there was a front on us and 45 pounds won. So those big fish, they're hard to trick. You get a low pressure on them and it kind of gets them up. It kind of gets them looking up again. And you can trick them a little bit easier. It's just, can you get out there and deal with the elements?
Yeah, sure enough. Or, and a lot of times for us, and when we made our trips to Texas, we ran into the biggest problem was that ice and snow. Can you get your boat to the lake and get it there safely and get launched? Because everything's all iced up. It's very difficult to get on the water in those conditions.
Safely. Safely. That's the thing, is safely. And I'm a guide up here at Clear Lake. I do it full time. I go 3 to 5 days a week usually. And I actually had a guide trip today scheduled. I had one scheduled for tomorrow as well. And, I just wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get from my house to the lake with the boat safely. And that, right. With the ice and the snow, and I mean, we're up in the mountains here, so my hills up here are real. And so you start going down and then you can't stop. It's not a good thing. So I got to make that decision, a few days before our trips, usually if guys are coming from out of town. And that is the one thing. Can you get to the lake safely to fish for these fish? And you got to be careful.
Yeah. It's the scariest thing in the world when the launch ramp has ice on it and you're trying to back down. I mean, it is the scariest thing. You lose complete control until your wheels hit the lake. Riz, I don't know if you ever did this, Riz, but you probably have. But
this past weekend, Pete, at Anna, because like I said, it was 20 degrees, and since it's a power plant, like that's the only reason that it stayed open. But Sturgeon Creek, where we launched, the water temp there was like 38. So the air temperature is 22. Somebody pulls out right before you and they don't let the trailer drain off. It's that same way. I didn't slide down too much, but I was spinning on the way back up for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had a
combo.
in Texas, there was, when the lake was low at Lake Travis, we had to back down about 150 feet to the water. And the ramp's iced up, and you were literally on an ice rink for the last 50 feet before you hit the lake. You were just like, please grab. And but it's cool for those of you that don't know, if you ever do this, when your boat tires, when your trailer tires hit the lake, they will break, they will grab, because the water, the ramp under the water, the brakes will be effective and keep you hopefully from dumping the whole boat and truck into the water.
Hopefully is the key. Yeah, we just fished a big tournament here in January, the One Bass Winter Open, and it was the same thing. The first day of the tournament, I pulled up to the launch ramp. It's 24 degrees, post front, so I knew what was going to happen at the launch ramp. And what did I do? I parked in the parking lot. I got my co-angler in the boat. We got all situated, and I looked over at the launch ramp and I said, "Oh, look, there's a break in the launch. Let's go launch right now." And that was probably the dumbest thing you can do when it's that cold out, because it had given the water that was on the ramp from the previous people dumping in time to freeze. And what did I do? I set that boat straight down the ramp. I sent it over the edge. And right when my truck tires got to the top, I made sure the wheel was straight. And I looked side to side and I just let the brakes go, and it was slide from there. It was all the way down till you hit the water, boat comes off the trailer, and then you burn out all the way back up the ramp. I knew that 10 minutes the ramp was going to freeze.
That is like a bad dream that like you can't get out of. Like for me, like I feel like I've been there before. Like I'm falling, I'm not going to ever stop falling.
You're so helpless until it just goes splash, and you're like, "Oh, okay, we're here. We made it."
It is a bad dream, Rich. It's like, oh my God, it's horrifying. To add insult to injury to me, I in that particular event, what I did, Paul, is I started up my outboard and I put the hammer down because I was late. Everybody was late. So I started the outboard up and put it in full throttle, and I blew my power head in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So word to the wise, people, in that 20-degree temperatures, you got to let that motor come to temperature for at least more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, you need a few cycles on that thermostat. You need that sucker opening and closing 4 or 5 times to make sure they're all warmed up.
Yeah.
We've all done it. We've all done it. I'm a victim of doing it too, getting in a hurry, and you get past the 5 buoy and you go, she's warm.
Yep. Nah.
They're never as warm as you think they are when it's that cold out.
No. You got to let all that metal, all the different metal components, they got to come to temperature before you put the hammer down. So word to the people listening to this show, I saved you about $25,000.
That's it. My rule of thumb now is after I did it one time is 5 heat cycles. I want to see that thermostat open and close 5 times while I'm idling. And that should allow all 6 pistons to get to the proper temperature, and you can go ahead and jam it and be good to go. But 5 is my rule. And I tell all my clients, they're like, what are we waiting for? I said, put some heat in this sucker, then we'll go.
Yeah, that's a great observation. How long does that take?
It probably takes 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
Okay.
You know, if you got a long 5 zone to idle, you'll usually get there, idle in on just a regular idle. It'll open and close 4 or 5 times, but it's a 5 to 7 minute under idle load, not just a warm up where it's running at the dock. I want it under idle, under a load, so that number 6 piston gets warm. The number 6 piston is always the coolest piston to run in these outboards, most cases.
Okay.
Give it plenty of time for number 6 to get warm because that's the one that wants to pop every time.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good stuff.
Hey, man, that's some serious high-tech advice, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's just time on the water. Like you guys, you learn all this stuff after it happening to you, and you can't beat time on the water.
Yeah, sure enough. Well, let's get on the water. I was reading something. Is this true? Clear Lake is potentially the oldest lake on planet Earth.
Potentially. There are new reports coming out that Lake Tahoe, right, a couple hours away, right at Nevada, California border, has about 500,000 years on Clear Lake. They're studying. But this is the oldest lake, they say, west of the Great Lakes is what they would say.
Wow,
and it's old.
It's like 2.5 million years old.
Say that again?
2.5 million years old is what I was reading.
Yep, 2.5 million. It's a completely natural lake, and so it's an ecology wonder. I mean, people will ask, why is this lake so good? And we have such good bait fish and natural fish that aren't in any other lake in the whole country. We have a fish called the hitch. And that's kind of like our trout or our big blueback herring, that you guys would know about. But I mean, the natural ecology of this lake is unbelievable. To see the cycles it goes through on a natural level for the last 20 years I've never seen another lake like it, especially like a reservoir that was built. The natural lake is amazing. Kind of just like the Great Lakes. You can kind of see them cycle over the years, and any natural lake does it, but to see the algae blooms and then not have the algae blooms and no shad for 10 years. And now there's so much shad you can't see with your forward facing sonar hardly anywhere you go. And it just goes through these crazy cycles, but it is really cool having the oldest lake right here under our feet. And I live on the volcano that it was kind of all created from. So it's really cool for me to live here and look around and be like, man, this is millions and millions and millions of years old. It's pretty cool.
That is very cool. Any quakes that you've been through over there?
We've been through some earthquakes. My house is, like I said, I am actually on the volcano. So this thing is a solid boulder. So we'll have 3 and 4.0 magnitudes all around the lake, usually throughout the year. And I never feel them at my house. People on this mountain are like, we didn't feel it. We didn't feel it. We didn't feel it. But everybody around us feels them. And so it's kind of like we're on such a big, bedrock foundation that we don't feel a lot of the earthquakes, but we get a big one or we get the so-called big one. We're going to feel it. We're definitely going to feel it.
It's so common out there. It's so, I mean, we might feel something like that in a lifetime, out here on the East Coast. You guys are, it's all the time. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
and I was watching a YouTube special the other day on the geology of Clear Lake and how it was formed, and we're actually on like we'll call it a mini Yosemite, or Yellowstone. When they say when Yellowstone explodes, it could like destroy Earth or whatever the heck they talk about. It's just on a huge volcano. Clear Lake is the same. Clear Lake is the same thing. It's about a 90-mile circle of fire around us, and they said if this volcano ever blows again, because it is absolutely still active, it is a full active volcano. If it ever blows again, nobody will have warning. There won't be a warning of, you guys get off the mountain, stuff's starting to rumble. It is going to do what they think Yellowstone will do, and that is just explode into oblivion. And I was kind of scared watching it. I had no idea that was the case.
Wow.
It is still an absolutely active volcano, and everywhere around it is too. So.
God, that is intimidating. What is it? Did they give you a date? Something?
No, that's what I was wondering. I was like, give me a date, give me a time. Let me get the heck out of here. It was kind of scary. I honestly, I didn't know that I knew it was still an active volcano, but to like hear a scientist actually talk about it for 20 minutes and everything around us, and we have all these geysers that we use for power generation up in the mountains here. And those geysers, I mean, they go off on clock every single day. They generate power from them. And they're talking about the geysers being connected to the lake and the volcano. And I'm just like, oh yeah, we're in a serious hot zone right here for earthquakes and volcanic activity.
Wow. Well, and 10-pound bass.
And 10-pound bass. And that kind of leads us to why we're at Clear Lake is, it was all created from all of this, that we're talking about now, and for it to still be here and giving us love and joy, man, it's awesome. I love this place. I'll never leave.
Man, that's fantastic. And so you're out there right now running trips. How are you? What's going on? What's the bite looking like out there right now?
So December through late January, we're typically we're going to shake a minnow. We're going to throw an A-rig. We're going to throw an underspin. These fish are eating shad. They're in that 20 to 30 foot deep of water, totally accessible. So we did that for the last couple months. And then typically that's the south end of the lake. The north end of the lake, we kind of separate Clear Lake into two zones. The north end of the lake, we're going to call the flat, shallow side of the lake. And then the mid lake to south end of the lake here, we're going to call that the deeper reservoir style lake. So we're in the deeper reservoir style lake during the cold water, which is, November through January. And then once February comes and we've got quite a bit of rain and all the creeks get flowing up on the north end, those creeks will start pumping in dirty water. And once those creeks start flowing in, then our fish that we were talking about earlier, those hitch, they start wanting to go into those creeks to spawn. They kind of do it like salmon. When it starts raining and they start flowing, they start heading in and they get up in those sandbars and lay their eggs and do their stuff like salmon does. And then they come on out. So now we just got to this stage of Clear Lake bite right here in the last couple weeks, to where the north end of the lake is opening up now, to where it's going to give us the shallow swim bait bite. We're going to be able to throw the rattle traps, the chatter baits. The flip bite in the bushes is starting. I've noticed a lot of guys posting videos catching some flip fish. And so we're in this transition right now to where you can still fish the south end with your minnow style baits. And there's a whole group of fish down there doing that. And those are typically going to be where your 40 to 50 pound bags are going to come from. Those deeper holes, those fish are still sitting pretty deep. The north end of the lake, you can catch your 25 to 35, I want to say, pound bags right now, but the fun way, where you're not having to stare at your scope. You're able to throw the LV500, like I said, the rattle traps, the A-rigs, the small weedless swim baits, and you're able to not have to even turn that thing on. You can just run a pattern or, run an area, go through that area with a few different baits and kind of figure out what's going on there right now. But right now we're in this transition to where if I'm taking a client tomorrow, I'm going to let him pick. What do you want to do? Do you want to go stare at him on the screen and try to get a 10-pounder? Or do you want to go not stare at them on the screen and go throw some reaction baits and have a good old time, and you can still catch a 10-pounder? Chances go down a little bit, but I'm giving them the option right now. So that's kind of where we are now. We're just doing this. What do you guys prefer doing? Do you want to throw swim baits? Do you want to shake a minnow? Do you want to go throw a dice bait at them? And I kind of let the clients pick on how they want to do their day, and then we go rock it and see what happens.
if Paul Bailey's going fishing with no clients, all by what are you picking? What are you doing?
Man. So I'm yet to catch a teenager on this lake. I've caught, I can't tell you how many 9 to 12 pounders on this lake. I've never caught a 13 pounder here on this lake. So I would probably go and shake a minnow. You know, we get this 3-4 month window here where you really got a good chance of catching a 10 to 14 pound 50. We've had a couple 15s the last couple of years come out of here. High 15s. 15.9 was caught, I believe, a month ago by one of the old timers on a live crawdad. We call him Crawdad Dan. He's been here for 20 years. All he does is fish live crawdads. He caught himself a 15.9 a couple weeks ago. So we know they're in here, and that's kind of what I would do. I would want to go try to catch one of those teenage size fish while we have the opportunity before the spawn, and that'd be what I picked.
Okay, with live crawdad.
No, heck no, I'm not going to throw a live crawdad. But if I can go shake a minnow at him or throw a swim bait at him and get one to eat that, you know, that's definitely going to be my choice. I am on my edge of getting sick of looking at the screen for the season. We've been doing it for a few months, and so I had an itch last week. I ran up to the north end, and you know, we went 7 pounder, 5 pounder, 5 pounder, 5 pounder, 6 pounder on a swim bait in one stop in about 7 casts. And I look back at my team partner and I go, man, I missed this. Let's come back up here next week and do this again. So I'm on my threshold of sick of staring at the screen and want to just go fishing.
Do you have something to fish tournament-wise, like most weekends on clear?
You know, no, because a lot of club tournaments, a lot of the rookie league tournaments where they don't let, you know, guides fish those, or somebody who's won an Angler of the Year title in a pro tournament or a pro series, they have their standards of who they let sign up. And so there's a lot of those here. I probably get 9 weekends a year here to fish tournaments.
Okay. Are you traveling? No, are you fishing? Are you fishing tournaments on a lot of the other lakes in California?
No. I used to 15 years ago. I spent my money, lost my money, you know, broke even, didn't break even, won a boat, lost a boat. I kind of went through it all 15 years ago, and I realized if you want to pay your bills and you want to be financially stable and still fish, try to fish as much as you can at home. Because all you do when you go on the road is spend money and spend money and spend money. There's 10% of the guys that go on the road that actually make money. 90% of them donate it. So I learned a long time ago, I like to pay my bills. I like my family. I like being happy. And the stress is way less when I stay home.
That's interesting advice, Rich. You were wrestling with that decision all the time. Do I travel, or I just keep banging out checks here on the Chesapeake because you're so good at that?
Yeah. I was just curious, you know, how active the tournament scene is at Clear. Now the 9 a year that you get to fish, are they what kind of payouts are you looking at for those? Are they high, like, are they like big money pots, or?
No, we'll maybe get 2 big ones a year where we're fishing for $100,000, and those are the One Bass Open events.
Yeah.
We had an MLF come here every year for like 15 years. They pulled out last year, and so they haven't come back. So we lost our MLF tournament, which was a really big one for us. But the One Bass guys came in, and they've been doing solid for us for 30 years on the West Coast. And we get to fish for $100,000 in April, and then we fished for a $70,000 win in January. And those are the 2 big ones I fished for. The other ones that I fished, they're just team tournaments, pro team tournaments, where you fish a series of 5 to 7 tournaments, and then the Tournament of Champions is actually here at Clear Lake also, where we're fishing for a boat. So, $30,000, $40,000 on that win.
Well,
but I get 3 chances to make a lot of money in tournaments per year. And that's it. I typically, I'm not the multi-day tournament fisherman. I know that, it's not a shocker to anybody. I'll have a giant bag one day and catch 2 fish the next day. It's just how I fish, and
I mean, hell, giving yourself at that kind of a chance at that kind of purse 3 times a year, that's good, man. Like that's nice.
Yeah. Exactly. To get 3 chances at home to make a big check is awesome. I've only been able to steal the deal once or twice in these events over 15 years, but I always find myself in the mix, and I consider tournaments my vacation. tournaments are my vacation to where I get to go do it my way. It's me on the boat. It's me casting. It's me making it's me doing everything. And I mean, I fish for other people, all year long. I'm practicing for other people. I'm teaching people how to do stuff, taking people, and for me to do it my way, for me for a week, I consider tournaments my vacation. So I really look forward to the tournaments up here.
Nice. So you get nine weeks of vacation a year.
That's it. I get like 9 weekends plus a couple of days of free fish of me time, which is it works out well.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I wish we need a couple big dollar tournaments around our way. We don't seem to get those, but that would be nice for us.
I know, and I was, the dual threat thing going on was kind of like, oh, there's hope. There's going to be a big money team trail that's everywhere, and we know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, that whole fiasco, and I feel for fishermen and everybody that entered those tournaments. It's like we always are looking for the next best thing, and you want to support it when it shows up, but look what happens when we do decide to, or not me personally, but fishermen, they supported it, and man, there's not even anything you can say other than, and what do you do?
Yeah. Tough break. Everybody's red flags are going to be up now for anything new coming down the pike. It's
right.
Well, wish all those guys well. I hope to get paid. I want to dive into baits with you. You talk a lot about a minnow, and you got the hitch out there. Are you upsizing your minnow to match the size of those hitch? What size minnows are you throwing out there?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll upsize, but I won't upsize. I'm still probably a couple weeks from putting a 7-inch minnow on, or 6 or 7-inch minnow on.
Okay.
The bigger fish are still focused on the shad. Some hitch have gone into the creeks right now. I haven't seen the sign of there's a whole wave of hitch moving in. I haven't seen a whole bunch of bass at the creek mouths feeding on them yet. So I'm not quite there, but yes, we will get there. Usually early March is when they'll start feeding on those 6 to 10-inch hitch consistently, and where they're actually looking for them over the shad. So we're almost there, but 4 to 5-inch minnow is typically what I throw during winter, and they're going to be shad colors 99% of the time. And then if they're going to show us sometime in February, late February, that, all right, we're making the move to the hitch. And when they do, I absolutely will go to that 6, 7, and 8-inch minnow and shake that sucker in front of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just saw the dice win a tournament. I think that may be, I guess we saw the dice be a factor in Champlain tournament, maybe. But it hadn't been in that much, not like this where it was overwhelmingly dominant. What's going on? West Coast usually gets all this stuff first coming out of Japan. Is the dice craze faded? Is it a deal out there? What's going on?
They haven't caught on yet, really, out here. We're a little bit late, just like we were to the A-Rig game, just like we were to the minnow game out here. Okay. We're a little late out here, and so I've thrown the dice bait quite a bit at Clear Lake, and I'm going to tell you this. I have had 7,000 fish follow that thing down, follow it up, follow it, ripping it, follow it, shaking it, follow it, leaving it there. I've never had one eat it.
Whoa,
and
really?
I swear to you. And so, and I know guys can drop shot it and do other things. And I'm trying to mimic what I'm seeing these pros do on TV, which is, they're kind of hopping it in front of them, getting them to react to it, to come to it, spotted bass, smallmouth, even largemouth. I'm beginning to think that the whole theory of they used to eat those little plankton that looked like the dice bait. I'm starting to think we don't have those plankton in Cleveland. And that's my only explanation for it. Or I haven't unlocked it, and I'm willing to bet it's more me than a fish thing. I haven't unlocked it yet, and I know a lot of people on the West Coast haven't unlocked the full potential of it yet. So the U.S. Open every year is our big tournament out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
It's been at Lake Mojave the last few years. And that is where they kind of opened everybody's eyes the last couple of years there. Milliken came out last year and put out his video of him fishing in the tournament, and all he did was throw the dice bait and wailed on him. And he almost won. He got second. Yeah. So those guys coming out and opening our eyes really opened our eyes, and you're going to see every single guy at the U.S. Open next year throwing a dice bait now. pretty much the way it happens. And so we're a little bit behind, you know, to go back to your question, we're a little bit behind. I don't know if it's going to be the deal here, but we have a ton of spots, a ton of largemouth lakes that have Floridas in them, not northerns. Those lakes could absolutely be factors, and so could it be here. I just haven't unlocked it yet.
Understood. What you got to find a dice or creature style bait that looks like a 2.5 million year old plankton, Paul.
Right.
What kind of plankton you got out there, man?
I know. It's crazy the reaction that it gets, because you throw a minnow at them and they literally will get right behind the minnow, 20 of them at a time. They'll do, and they'll never eat your minnow. They'll turn around and run away, you know, when you try to do anything cool with it. And you throw the dice at them and even more come to it. And there's nothing I can do to get one to bite it yet. And it could be the time of year we're still too cold. They don't want that. And as we transition into pre-spawn here, they're going to start getting on that slow fall stuff, the Senkos, you know, the lighter Texas rig stuff where the fall rate actually matters. And I'm hoping to be able to unlock it during that time. I'm hoping that the water's too cold. They just didn't want to do it. And when they do start looking at the slow fall baits, that's when that dice game will pick up.
Well, you got to keep us posted on that. I want to see your first dice catch out
I
there.
will. I'll send it to you guys. I'll tag you guys on my Instagram, and we'll do it together, because I honestly 6,000 fish have been on that bait, and I've never had one eat it. And I'm not saying it's the fish; it's probably me. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
If you take it to a scientific level, though, like they are saying that they eat it because it looks like some little phytoplankton that they ate when they were babies or whatever. If Clear Lake didn't have those, I mean,
it makes sense to me. I mean, you know, we're full of excuses. We're bass fishermen. You know, I turn around to my client one day, and after he has 700 of these things, follow it out from docks. I mean, they'll chase it all the way under the boat. You can see the fish behind it while it's coming to the boat with your eyes. And they'll just stay on it. And I turned around and looked at him one day, and I said, I don't think we had these in Clear Lake when they were little. They do not want to bite it.
Yeah, you need something that looks like a baby pterodactyl. You know, something,
exactly.
something like
some crazy chicken we've never heard of, or you know,
yeah. Yep. You guys will figure it. I wanted to wipe out an entire peg of those glide baits you have hanging on the wall behind you, Paul. I just put them in a box. Just one peg. I don't need them all. Just one peg. Just put it in there and chip it easy.
I mean, I got them as organized as I can get them, I think, but it's an addiction. It was an addiction for years, and you know, every time a cool one came out, or you know, there had, you know, I was FOMO. I was fear of missing out. I didn't want to that was the bait I needed, you know, for a 6-month span here, and didn't have it. So this is the result. Don't do this.
Hey, can you grab one and give me is there a bait with a story, or your favorite one, or
you know what,
biggest fish, or any of that? What do you got?
I have caught, this is right here, this is the Gancraft 230. Mm-hmm. I have caught more fish on this bait at this lake than any other lure in my arsenal by far. For some reason, the way that sucker's shaped, it looks just like our hitch here. And when you can get that close to what a hitch looks like, and have the speed that they swim at, you know, these glides, they just do a very nothing that's not a very tight S. It's just a very slow waddle and walk, and that's what I call these Gancrafts. I've caught more fish on this bait 100 different ways from Tuesday, whether it's slow, fast, pumping it. I've got a peg of these because I've caught so many fish on them. The only reason I'm sponsored by Gancraft is because I caught so many fish on them. I called them and said, it was one of my few sponsors where I actually called them and said, hey, I think we need to work together. I've got a color that I want to do with you guys. And you know, that kind of kicked off our relationship 10 years ago. And to this day, that chartreuse green, you know, it works for the spots, it works for the largemouth, it works for them all. And that is absolutely by far my number one fish catcher on this lake for big swim baits.
Pete, you better call Senko.
But I've got a whole bunch of memories back here on this wall. I got one here that Butch Brown tuned for me, one of these Slide Swimmer 250s, and can't tell you how many fish I've caught on that thing over the last. I think that was the first year that Butch ever made that swim bait. Honestly, that's the first generation that glide bait that I still have hanging on that wall, and I fish it every single year. It is one of my favorites. So I've got a story with every one of them. That'll be a whole 5-hour show.
Well, I have some game crafts that in my glide bait collection, and we don't have hitch out here, but they'll still bite that sucker out here. I promise. As well as a Senko, Riz. I know. I keep waiting for Yamamoto to call me. I haven't got that call yet. So, we're patiently waiting.
Well, when are we going to get a V2 of the Big Bait Posse?
Man, you guys have seen it since that whole thing unraveled, and we produced that video. And just look at what's happened with the internet coverage. Like, we were trying to open people's eyes of hey, look, you guys can do this to catch bass too. It's not just a California thing. We wanted to put it nationwide so everybody can see, like, oh man, them bass really do eat that thing. But with the power of social media now, like, I mean, we're not going to reach any more people with another video. Like, we were really just trying. It was more of an educational thing and a hey, look what we can do out west, and try to take it to your lake, but the thought of doing another one and how much effort it takes to get every one of us together when we're all in different cities and states, and it's almost too much to even comprehend. We all want to do it. Don't get me wrong. We want to do it. We'd love to do another one, but the reality of doing another one is just not there.
Well, if it ever happens where you're going to do it, I'll shoot it. We'll shoot it for you. Just let us know, because
all right,
it was. The original, like the Big Bait Posse, for anybody that's watching the show or listening to the show, if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. And it was so cool because, like, it was great to show people about, what California had to offer as far as fishing, catching fish on big baits and that whole deal, and being the educational. But you guys made it cool because it was like the merger of like bass fishing and like Thrasher magazine almost. Like there was so many merges of like cultures in the Big Bait Posse that was just so cool. And I was like, a 2026 version might look a little different. You guys are obviously life, but it would be awesome.
No, that was my whole goal with it. So growing up, I was a huge surfing fan, motocross. I raced BMX my whole life. I turned pro racing BMX when I was 18. And so when we decided to do the Big Bait Posse DVD, I was 29 at the time, 28 or 29, I believe. I had retired from the BMX racing, but I still had all my motocross and BMX connections and friends. And so I kind of switched from BMX to bass fishing, but I was still going to all the supercross races and friends with all the racers and all the BMX racers. I was still going to the races and watching and stuff. And so I wanted to merge the two, and that's what we did. We did one of my sponsors, Moto Triple X, they did a lot of motocross videos back in the day, like Crusty Demons and Dirt Style. They were a big player in my BMX career. And so afterwards, I was still friends with the owners and the guys that worked there. And we went golfing one day, and I said, hey, I want to make a motocross style video, but for bass fishing. And he looks at me and he goes, what? And I showed him the fish we were catching, and I showed him a little clip I made on my computer with punk rock music behind it and the quick edits and this and that. And he looks at me and he goes, dude, that might work. And he said, come down to the office. Let's blast it out. It'll take us 4 months.
It was the same. The concept's the same. You're still, tapping into the adrenaline junkie mindset. It's just, instead of doing it on BMX or on motocross, you're doing it with a bait this long in your hand, catching giant bass, but the result's still the same. You go from 0 to 10 instantly, So.
Yep. I mean, when we'd go surfing or whether we go riding for the day, we always pop a video in the morning, and you get pumped up. And that was my whole goal with this. Let's pump that thing in the video while we're getting ready to go in the morning, and let's get ready to go do some bass fishing. And it worked. I mean, hey, we didn't make any money, but look, we kind of made a brand, and everybody knows who we are. So there you go.
Well, we look forward to you making another one and not making any money. Hopefully you make some money,
Yeah, let's make some money off this one.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a deal. People want to come out and fish with you, Paul. How do they do it?
Email me, guys, bigbaitbailey@gmail.com. That is the quickest, easiest way to get a hold of me. I get a million spam calls a day, a million spam messages a day. the email, my wife will get right back to you. She'll, give her 15, 20 minutes. She'll let you know what's open, what's not. BigBaitBailey@gmail.com, guys. That never fails.
Excellent. Well, wish you all the best. I look forward to receiving the dice fish picture at some point in the near future.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to get it soon. You're going to get it soon. Before the show, I was in my garage and I literally pulled out my big corky and I said, I'm doing it again. And I tied it all on, got all ready. I looked down. It was 8:30. It was time to come inside and get with you guys. And I literally just tied one on. So I'm going to still give it hell.
Awesome. Well, good luck. Thanks again, man. It was great catching up as usual. And hopefully the volcanic activity stays low for the next few years out there. And we're going to catch up with you again, maybe in the spring, later in the spring or summer.
Let's do it. Let's do an end of April, a little recap of how many giant stacks were weighed in here for the springtime. And that'll be a fun one.
I love that show. Riz, write it down, man. We'll have you back. Big Bait Paul Bailey. Great having you with us, buddy.
Right on. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Nice.
All right, Riz, good stuff, man. What a fun group of guys, man. And big fish, big spotted bass, big giant largemouth, 2.5 million year old volcanoes.
Yeah.
What could be better?
Active volcanoes, Pete.
Yeah, active volcanoes. What else is active? Is Bass University's active, Riz? We've had we have some tremendous teachers that we continually bring to you guys. This week is no different.
Oh yeah, no different at all. This week's release is Emil Wagner, and we're just gonna go ahead and title it what that dude does. Herring domination. It leans in pretty hard on the finesse fishing side of things, but it's a great seminar. Emil is not only a great angler, he's also a great instructor, and he understands the assignment. So we're excited about this week's release on Bass UTV with Emil Wagner, herring domination.
Yeah, and he's fresh off of I'm trying to look it up. Third or fourth place.
Yep, third place.
Third place at the recent Bassmaster Elite. Outstanding. We also have a Bass U sub of the week, Rich.
Yes, we do. We have a sub of the week. Got to find him. Here he is. Matt McCluskey is the Bass University sub of the week, and that is a Lake Anna 8-pounder that he caught right in my eyeball on the trolling motor on my boat. So It was awesome. It was freaking awesome. That fish was an absolute
beautiful. Dude, look at that fish. It's just a specimen, like very proportional, just a beautiful, clean wintertime fish, man. Look at the eyeball on that thing.
Giant one. And that's Matt McCluskey.
Wow.
Sub of the week. Thanks. Matt hopped on the boat with me, by the way, when I was on Lake Anna, and he's a super proficient angler on Anna and super proficient with the live scope or with the forward facing sonar. And he spent a few hours helping me understand some of the little nuances that, well, honestly, I didn't even think about or I didn't know about. And that kind of helped me on Saturday to have, to triple, quadruple down on Saturday on the amount of fish that I caught on Friday, were some of the things that I picked up on from being in the boat with Matt.
What was the top tip? Give me one tip that helped you catch them.
So I mean, the most impactful thing for me was once the light bulb went off on using the forward facing sonar and sweeping it to understand what direction the fish are moving, not where you see them on your screen, but trying to project the direction that they're going and landing your bait in that direction to make that timing collision happen of where your bait and the fish essentially meet in harmony. Because if you throw at the fish on your screen and it's going this way, but your bait lands here, that harmony of bait and fish colliding doesn't happen. So once that light bulb started to click a little bit on Friday, where I was like, okay, I understand that this is
If I don't figure this out, I'm not going to progress forward and start getting more bites. And it didn't happen instantly on Saturday, but once it did, the bite percent, I would say once the light bulb went off for me, and the light bulb, it's always flickering for me. It takes a while to come on, but once it comes on, it's generally pretty bright. Once it happened, I'd say my bite percentage to the fish that I was seeing probably went up by 25%, which is
awesome,
significant. So yeah, understanding what direction the fish are moving before you make the cast.
Nice. Good advice. I like it. Amazing fish catch. And thank you everybody for hanging out with us. We look forward to, we will see you next week in another edition of Bass University Live. I want to invite everybody to download the Bass U app. If you haven't done it yet, go do it. It's where all the action is. What do you got, Riz?
I got one more thing. And I'm just doing the due diligence here. I told everybody listening last week that as we move through the season, I'm going to be, talking about my experience with the whitewater, fishing apparel. And so this weekend, I got to really put it through its paces. The Beacon hoodie, which is a technical style hoodie. It's not cotton. The Beacon hoodie is, it's like a high performance material, and it also has the built-in neck gaiter, which is really nice on those super cold mornings.
Yeah, no doubt.
So my layering on both mornings when it was frigid, like it was cold, I went with the Beacon hoodie, the down vest, the puffy down vest, which is super lightweight, but because it's down, it's warm. And then I layered the Great Lakes jacket over that, and that system of base layer to vest, which keeps the arms free, which is super important in casting, which is why vests really have a place in how you wear your clothes and how you layer. With the Great Lakes jacket over that, I had wind protection on the outermost layer. I had core warmth with the vest, and I had functional warmth and movement with the Beacon hoodie at the not base layer, but the first layer essentially. And that combination allowed me to fish for 10 hours, and I never got that fatigue of, restriction, because that's ultimately when you really layer up and you put on heavy clothes, you get that restriction, and that causes fatigue, it causes soreness. So that combination for me, with a low temp in the morning of 22 degrees and a high temp in the afternoon of probably 48, 49, that system worked well to where I could take it off layer by layer throughout the day as the conditions changed. So
that's great. Highly technical apparel. Guys are coming to us from really the hunting world and dealing with extreme conditions. So I want to invite everybody to go check out Whitewater and some really cool partnership things coming from us at Bass University soon. So keep an eye out for that stuff. Congratulations on breaking the cabin fever, Riz. I'm jealous. Yeah. Thanks, Justin and Jocelyn and Jeff, everybody at Bass University, and Jason too. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Fisher Anaya and Paul Bailey, for being on the show today. And we will see everybody next week on Bass University Live.